Number 3 in our list of converts is the late Mortimer Adler. Adler arguably was one of the greatest logicians of the 20th century. He was one of the editors of the Encyclopedia Britannica, great books of the Western world. He was, again, editor of that publication as well. Adler came to a belief that the abstract concepts he was teaching that are so important to our everyday lives in logic and in reasoning seem to point toward a fundamental mind or a fundamental something that's important and not just made up beyond nature, something discoverable, not invented, beyond nature. He wrestled with converting at that point because he didn't want to lose the respect of his colleagues, and he didn't want to be a person that stopped doing what he wanted to do morally. He wanted to continue to live morally as he did. He had an intuition that meant his life was going to change if he committed to that sort of thing. So he became kind of a closeted deist or a general theist for a long time and just didn't talk about it. And then he had an experience where he went from atheist to closeted theist or deist to a full-blown Christian, where he was in Mexico, and he relays a story about when he got very, very, very ill. When the pastor or priest visited him in Mexico when he was on his sick bed, he got choked up, wept while he was being prayed for. The only prayer that I knew, word for word, was the Pater Noster. On that day and days after it, I found myself repeating the Lord's Prayer again and again, mentioning every word of it. Quite suddenly, when I was awake one night, a light dawned on me, and I realized what had happened without my recognizing it clearly when it first happened. I had been seriously praying to God. With no audible voice accessible to me, I was saying voicelessly to myself, "Dear God, yes, I do believe. Not just in the God my reason so stoutly affirms, but the God to whom Father Howell is now praying, and on whose grace and love I now joyfully rely." That brought him to belief that God was personal, and that this was and he got approached about his immorality, his life of immorality, had an experience where he came out of that fatal sickness and had a robust belief in Christianity at that point and lived the rest of his days that way. This is the late Mortimer Adler.